Hello guys, Ryan Ho back with another video. Today we have the Razer Viper Mini, I guess, clone mouse. This is the mouse that everyone actually wants. The Razer Viper Mini signature is a $300 mouse. It is made of magnesium and it is very lightweight. It's kind of like this mouse, which is the Beast X, but it has holes in it and not everyone really likes holes in their mouse, but it is lightweight and made of magnesium. But like I said, that price is a little bit expensive. They also have a wired version of the Razer Viper Mini, but who wants to really use a wired mouse in 2025? I mean, it's pretty ridiculous in my opinion. They have another mouse, which is the Razer Cobra Pro, which is also a mouse that I think is probably the best option, but it's still priced at like $120. It has RGB, and a lot of people complain about being essentially a brick. It's very heavy with its battery, with all its RGB. It's not really the most, I guess, lightweight mouse that everyone's kind of looking for. So I think Razer really kind of avoided making a lightweight version of the Razer Viper Mini in a cheaper form because they want people to buy their $300 mouse. So that's where the SH01 Pro really comes in. This thing is like $60. It's a lightweight version of the Viper Mini. And I think that's like the kind of market it's carved itself because, like I said, I think Razer really just avoided everything in making this. And so I feel like this is the best alternative for people who actually like the shape and want this. And I think a mouse like this is actually very, very good for the market because the thing is, I think a lot of mouses on the market are made just a little bit big, honestly, because if you think about it, most companies want to make one shape and sell one mouse to everybody, but that shape needs to fit all hand sizes, and generally it has to fit the biggest hand sizes. So if you look at this one, this is the Razer Viper B3 Pro. It's a mouse that I would say is still on the medium large size. I mean, I get a pretty good grip on it, but it's still a bigger-ish mouse, and I feel like something like the Viper Mini is really a smaller mouse for people who have a little bit more medium to small hands, and I think will fit a lot more people better. I mean, I know a lot of just like, honestly, just like a lot of girls who want a mouse. I feel like a mouse like this would fit them a lot better, honestly, than these standard big mouses. Now, this is not really the biggest mouse. I would say the biggest mouse Razer have is the Razer Death Adder V3. That thing is like huge, but yeah, I think the size of this mouse is definitely very attractive for a lot of people. And the other thing that I think this mouse has is because it's a smaller mouse, it allows people to kind of grip a little bit more fingertip-like, and I think a lot of people would like that as well. So what does this mouse actually have feature-wise? So this thing has the whole 8K polling. It comes with the 8K dongle as well with a cable, and honestly, that stuff is really amazing. I feel like for a lot of people, that is what makes a mouse honestly super responsive. The mouse comes with the dongle right there included in the box, so they pay extra for it. And then also this nice cable that allows you to kind of update the firmware, everything, and get the 8K. So inside the box, they also come with some extra grip. So if you need some kind of extra grip, they have it from the top and the sides, as well as extra skates as well that fit the mouse. So I think they're kind of nice inclusions. And then they actually come with this USB-C to USB Type A adapter as well, which is also nice. The mouse also comes with the Huano green transparent white dot switches, which are actually kind of hot swappable switches, so you can kind of take them out and put other ones in there. So I think that's pretty nice if you want to exchange them really quickly after opening up the mouse. And I think that just adds to the longevity of the mouse. And then they also have a pretty honestly nice quality mouse, but the thing I noticed is they actually has a coating. So they always say they have these like skin-like coating, which always sounds really funny when they say it like that, but it has this kind of grippy rubberized like texture on there that a lot of these nicer mouses like the the Razers have it, like those Razer Viper B3 Pro or the Logitech. So they actually have that on a $60 mouse. To me, that's pretty nice. The texture isn't as grippy as maybe something like this, but it's pretty grippy, and I think it's good enough, at least for me. And then the side buttons itself is also really nice as well. They're very kind of clicky and tactile. And then if you actually look at the bottom of the mouse, it actually comes with both 2.4 and a Bluetooth ability. So you actually have two, and then the DPI button, and then the on and off switch. But the other interesting thing that mouse actually comes with is it actually has just a small convenient dongle for just 1K. So if you just wanted to connect this to your mouse, and you can just pair it to the dongle, or you can pair it to the 8K dongle, but you can only do one at a time. But this allows you to kind of have a lightweight mouse to just bring around with you without just bringing the big kind of 8K dongle, honestly. So this basically gives you a lot of versatile options to kind of bring and kind of use your mouse. Of course, this mouse also has the PTFE feet, so you have these nice fast PTFE feet that glide, I think, relatively fast on your mouse pad. I've been using it with the Artisan Raiden in, I guess, orange, and it's been working really well. I have no issues with it. And obviously this sensor tracks really well. It's the 3950, which is pretty much the standard at this point. So honestly, if you're just looking for top tier specs, this mouse basically has all of it. And we can even kind of show you guys what it actually sounds like when I do kind of click test for you guys. All right, so let's do a click test. So this is left click, right click, middle scroll wheel, scrolling, side button, back side button. So overall, the quality clicks, honestly, they're very well tensioned. I had no really issues with them. Honestly, for this company, honestly, I really like the fact that they have really nicely built mouses. The side buttons are very firm too as well, very tactile. You don't really have that much kind of post or pre-travel. They're honestly basically almost perfect. And the left and right are also very well. Like I have no issues at all. And then the scroll wheel is, you can feel the small notches, but I would say it's still a relatively very fast moving type of scroll wheel, which I do like. I don't really like my scroll wheel too tensioned, but you can also just feel every single notch. So it's pretty nice like that. Overall, this mouse is just very fast and glidey, as you can tell. I mean, because it's lightweight, it really just like flies. Like I'm just like sending it. You can see how fast it moves. I mean, most of these mouses kind of can do the same thing, but I feel like for some reason, this one, given its form factor, really kind of slides a lot. This one as well, honestly. But I mean, put it on scale so you guys can see how much it weighs. Weight-wise, it comes at 57 grams, which is pretty lightweight. I would say it's particularly lightweight because it has the Bluetooth as well as the extra dongle on the bottom, and it's able to achieve that weight. And then you can see the actual Razer Viper V3 Pro is only 55 grams, so it's barely that much lighter, but it is a slightly bigger mouse. But yeah, the weight is pretty honestly lightweight on this mouse, especially if you're looking for a good alternative, like I said, to the Viper Mini series. And then over here, we actually have, this is their actually own original design of a mouse. And this is actually the Rawm SH01 Pro. And this one is honestly a very lightweight mouse as well. It's 49 grams, so it's even lighter weight. I think the reason why it's lighter is because it doesn't even have the Bluetooth or the extra dongle, so they're able to shave off a little bit more weight, but it is a bigger mouse. I actually really like this mouse. I think this might be honestly their best mouse they make, because this one actually has optical switches, which is the Razer optical, which is the exact same one as the standard Razer mouse, but they have their own unique kind of shape and spin on it, which I do really like. And then of course right here we have another Rawm mouse, which is honestly another copy of a Razer mouse. This is the copy of the Razer Viper V3 Pro, and we can see it's just basically exactly the same. You can put it on a scale, and this one does weigh a lot more. It's 69 grams, so the weight's definitely not kept down on this one as much. This thing also has the Bluetooth at 2.4 gigahertz, as well as the typical DPI and off and on features. This one also uses the Huano transparent green dot one, so they're also the hot swappable one. So if you're looking for that, it also has that. The mechanical switches should have longer battery life, and this thing also has a bigger battery. That's why it kind of weighs more. It has a 600 milliamp battery, while these ones over here are lighter, but they have a 300 milliamp battery, so the battery life is going to be kind of half of that. So that's something that you trade off when you go for a lighter battery, I guess, or a lighter mouse in general. But people like the lighter mouses and they prefer that. So this leaves us with these mouse on the table, right? And for me, obviously, I think if you really like your Razer mices, the V3 Pro is lighter than the copied version of it, which makes it a little bit more superior. But I feel like in basically most cases, or all the cases, this is a better price and a better shape than the actual Razer Viper Mini, which is crazy because they did everything in their power to avoid making this mouse. And so with this mouse made, I think a lot of people are going to like this. I actually tried the Cobra Pro, which has the same exact shape as this, and it honestly felt really good. And after actually using this for a lot of games, I actually really do like the shape a lot. I do feel like the shape for me is a little bit more, I guess, it feels like I'm kind of gripping something like this more. It's more like, I guess, U shape on my hand versus I think these mouses, my hands feel a little bit more, I guess, flat across, while this one, my hands feel very bent because the hump is very kind of centered in the middle and it's a kind of shorter mouse. So it does make my hand feel, I guess, a little bit crampeder, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Versus something like their ES21 Pro. I think this is my favorite shape actually. This one has this nice, I guess, hump profile on the back, but the front is also kind of lifted too. So there's not as much of a difference between the front and like the back and like the hump that this one kind of exhibits. So I find it overall more comfortable. It's a bigger mouse, but it is lighter and it has optical switches. So for me, this is like their most top tier mouse in my opinion. So if you're looking for that, I think this is easily my favorite mouse on this table. And then of course, I mean, you can't really complain about the Razer Viper V3 Pro. I mean, this mouse is essentially the best mouse with the honestly the best kind of sensor and everything. So if you're looking for the flagship mouse, this is there, but it's $160 versus these are all kind of $60. And so yeah, I mean, I think that's how they compare. So when it comes to the shape of this mouse, you can definitely tell the different kind of lengths. The Razer Viper V3 Pro being the longest, this one being the second longest, being a little bit kind of shorter in the length. And then the SH01 Pro is definitely the smallest mouse. So if we're looking for the smallest one, obviously it's that one, medium and medium large, in my opinion, size wise. If you actually look at the front profile and the height of the mouse, you can actually tell the difference too. Obviously, these two mice being basically clones of each other, or this being a clone of the Viper V3 Pro. There's definitely the, I guess, taller one in the pack. If you actually look at them, they're kind of a little bit taller, but then they kind of lean forward, down. I personally find, obviously, this mouse to be the shortest and the smallest, but the kind of the peak of the hump actually makes a difference in these mices. Like, if you kind of take a look at this, you can see the side profile of how much bigger this mouse looks in comparison, and how the kind of hump of this one is shifted more towards the middle of, or I guess the back center of this mouse, while I think on their kind of original shape, the ES21 Pro, it feels much more in the center. I actually do prefer the hump being kind of closer here. It feels pretty nice, and then I feel like it doesn't kind of taper down as much as it feels like on the Viper V3 Pro. So I feel like overall the shape feels a little bit more comfortable to me, while this thing also just has a little bit more like a rounder, I guess, shape in general that I actually enjoy. If you compare this side by side with the SH01 Pro, obviously this one is just the smallest mouse. I mean, you can easily tell that it's definitely smaller, it's definitely shorter, more flatter in general. But the thing that stands out the most is kind of the front of this mouse is very low. This is very high, and then this kind of tapers down a lot. So it gives you the most, I guess, short kind of U type of shape, I guess, type of mouse, versus these are a little bit more, I guess, even from the front and the back. End of the day, like when it comes to kind of these mouses, anyone can kind of use any of these mouses. I mean, honestly, it's just kind of based off your hand and shape. Now, all these mouses all have the AK polling. They all have good kind of sensor movement. They all kind of react really well. And so I really don't have an issue performing on any of these mices. But, if you ask me to pick one, the most comfortable one that I like the most, it's definitely this one, like I said. What do you guys think about my pick? Which mouse do you guys like the most? I'll leave links down in the description to buy any of these mouses if you guys are interested. It does help support my channel if you are interested. And yeah, please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. Check out my other mouse videos. I did B-Stacks, Final Mouse, all those type of mouses. So if you guys want to see those, I definitely have those on my channel as well.